Hi everyone, I'm Betsy Swanner. Today I want to explore how awe and humility for our place in the world can help us become centered in the exact moment we are in and cultivate gratitude for it. I'm a professor and a scientist, and I variably refer to myself as a geobiologist or a biogeochemist. Basically, if you mix geology, chemistry, and microbiology in any portmanteau, that's me. My work explores how the humble microbe, which despite its diminutive size and lack of cognition, has completely transformed Earth throughout its history. Earth started out 4.5 billion years ago. I want to remind you that billion has 9 zeros. Started out with no oxygen in its atmosphere, and today, oxygen makes up to 20% of the air. We use it to combust our food and release energy to power our big bodies and our brains. And in a world without oxygen, microbes had to eke out a living from the energy released through combustion reactions between hydrogen or iron with carbon dioxide or sulfur. That transition in atmospheric composition took more than 2 billion years and was largely mediated by the emergence of oxygen-producing photosynthesis in cyanobacteria, so a kind of microbe, around 3 billion years ago. Plants appeared at the tail end of that time frame and topped off the atmosphere with oxygen, but most of the work and much of the basic innovation had already been done by microbes. Microbes were the only life form on Earth for more than 3 billion years. All that time provided microbes with tremendous opportunities to diversify genetically, and we only know about the vast majority of microbes through their genetic material because they quite simply refuse to grow in a lab where we can study them. If we examine a tree of life, that includes representation of all microbial lineages, nearly all the growth of the major branches, or the major limbs in the tree of life is in the microbial lines, with plants, animals, and humans composing just a few tiny branches. Microbes have evolved functions and adaptations that enable them to thrive in every possible habitat on Earth. We can only eat organic carbon, i.e. potato chips, and breathe oxygen. Hear, hear. But microbes can eat and breathe compounds such as methane, carbon monoxide, thiosulfate, arsenate, rust, and uranium ions. They can survive exposure to water at 300 degrees Celsius and 250 times the atmospheric pressure, deep down in hydrothermal vents on the seafloor. A single cell can live up to 1,000 years waiting for enough food to reproduce itself in the tiny pore spaces of the granite rocks that make up our continents. Microbes are an example of humility. They just get on with the work of life day after day. We hardly see or notice them, and yet Earth would be a completely different planet without them, and that inspires awe. All of this happened on planet Earth, surrounding this very particular star, our sun, out of the billions of stars in the universe. Planet Earth has a lifespan during which there is sufficient energy to drive geological processes that keep Earth alive. Earth is only alive because the first version of our sun died and was reborn. And only through that death did that first sun start to burn in such a way that the full complement of elements on the periodic table was created. Our current sun, Earth, and the other planets in our solar system were formed from the debris of the explosion of that dying ancestor star. And Earth inherited more radioactive elements formed from the star's death than Mars, our nearest planetary neighbor. Radioactive decay provides the energy that keeps Earth alive geologically, while its little sister Mars died 3 billion years ago. That was just as cyanobacteria began to shape Earth in a way that enabled our appearance. So a little bit about the future. It's estimated that in another 1 to 2 billion years, the fuel from those radioactive elements will no longer be able to drive Earth's constant resurfacing through plate tectonics. I know you can't see it happening, but it's happening. This process resupplies fresh geological material that brings nutrients for plant growth and regulates Earth's temperature over millions of years, kind of like a giant but very slow to react thermostat. If that doesn't close the curtains on plant and animal life on Earth, our aging sun will come for us. As the sun burns through its fuel, becoming denser and brighter, most carbon dioxide on Earth will be consumed by reactions with plants and rocks until there is only enough left to support the needs of microbes, who will once again rule the Earth. Finally, in its death dance, the sun will expand to 100 times its current size, and its intensity and brightness will boil off the oceans from Earth, or even consume Earth altogether. Why should that perspective give us gratitude? Because we are here on this planet, out of all of those from our solar system, around this star, out of all the billions of stars in the universe. We're in a Goldilocks zone in terms of our distance from the sun, which allows liquid water to be stable on Earth, to not freeze and to not boil off. We have the full complement of elements from an ancestor star that died for us. Well, maybe not for us, but it died. And enable our planet to remain alive. Microbes evolved quietly over billions of years on the planet, shaping it in a way that allowed plants, animals, and finally humans to emerge. To have this small slice of time when we can be. Earth has never once been the same as it was in the past, and it never will be the same again. It is dynamic. It is a wonder that we are here, that we have this moment, that our actions, no matter how small or how humble, will make tomorrow different from today.